Hello everyone, JSimLady here. Welcome back to another Sims video. This time we are going all the way back to the beginning of the franchise, the game that started it all, the original Sims. First of all, before we get too deep into it, if you are enjoying this video or my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. You have no idea how much your support is appreciated. Number two, I do have a creator code if you feel like using it. It does not give you a discount, but it does give me a very small percentage of the sale. You don't have to use mine, but you should definitely use somebody's. And you just enter that into the promo code section at the checkout. So I decided to go with a speed build, obviously, because that's what we're watching right now. A speed build. I do plan on playing The Sims and The Sims 2 and obviously more of The Sims 3 going into the future. But building has always been my thing. All the way back to the beginning. Building has always been my thing. I was best at it during the Sims 2 days. I was not great at it in the Sims 1 days. And I mean, I think you can see that. In my defense, the original Sims game was not meant or created for builders. It was meant for players. And so there weren't a lot of options, and it wasn't super stylish, you know what I'm saying? So it's not entirely my fault that my builds are terrible in the original Sims. The Sims 2 was a little bit of an improvement, although not a terribly massive improvement. But by the time The Sims 2 came out, I had gotten somewhat better at working within the confines of the game to make a decent build. I definitely need to practice because this one's awful, just like my Sims 2 build. Apparently, maybe because The Sims 3 was fresher in my mind, like I'd played it more recently than these older two games, I could build a little bit better in The Sims 3. And I do feel like I've gotten decent enough at building in The Sims 4 now after all this time. But yeah, this is almost embarrassing how bad this is. But like I said, building has always been my passion, so to celebrate today, I decided to do another speed build, but this time, obviously, of the original Sims to celebrate the big 25th birthday. And I started with going sort of similar to the house that I built in The Sims 3, and it kind of worked out that way, but also kind of didn't. And I didn't know, like, I was gonna do all of my builds. I was gonna do one in every game of basically the exact same house. But in The Sims 2, I was struggling so much that I just ended up doing something much, much more basic. This one is definitely closer to The Sims 3 house. Not that it was easier, but just that my brain was a little bit more warmed up at this point, and I was, some of the memories and stuff were coming back to me at this point, so it was getting a little bit easier to build. But yeah, anyways, so this is a Sims 1 build, and it's terrible, and there's no way to download it right now if you want to see it in your game. Like The Sims 2, there is no gallery or anything. I am considering if I do get back into building a little bit more in The Sims 1, 2, and maybe even The Sims 3 and 4. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it for all of my builds, but because The Sims 1 and 2 doesn't have a gallery that you can upload your builds to and share with people, I'm considering maybe putting them in like a Google Drive or a Patreon or something of that nature for free. I'm not going to charge for them. They're totally going to be free. But if you want that, let me know so that there's somewhere that you can download them from. If I do get back into building with the original games, although I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to, because I have no interest in downloading custom content, and I've never been able to play, especially the original Sims and The Sims 2, without custom content. I have never, I should say, to this point, felt the need to have custom content in The Sims 4 the way I did in the original Sims and The Sims 2, because the options are just so incredibly limited in the original games for building. I will, however, definitely play the original games. I might even do I kind of have just like a let's play sort of legacy thing, maybe starting in The Sims 3. I might do that in The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 as well, and just pop these videos in every now and then. That could be fun, right? The black screen you're seeing every now and then is just me tabbing out of the game. It's not a glitch or anything. It's just that the game disappears from view when you tab out to use a different computer monitor, which is what I was doing. I have to watch YouTube while I'm building, and when the video ends, I have to tab out to switch the video because I hate autoplay and I never have it turned on. I don't even know if you can anymore turn autoplay on. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. I've had it turned off for so long. You know, now looking back on this, from this perspective on the kitchen dining room area actually didn't turn out that bad. It's not terrible. It's not my best work, but it's not terrible. So anyways, I forgot what I was saying before that. Also, my microphone is sounding pretty bad in this program now, so you'll have to forgive that. I'm not sure what's going on with it, or if it's even using my condenser mic anymore and it's using some other microphone that's attached to my computer now instead. But I don't know. It sounds awful though. I'm so sorry about that. Anyways, back to the build. It's actually not terrible. For a Sims 1 build, it's actually not terrible. The outside looks a little funny, but the inside is actually kind of nice, and I'm kind of actually less embarrassed about this one than I am about my Sims 2 build, if I'm being honest. I did do all family homes just because that's what I enjoy building. I enjoy having at least one kid's bedroom in there. They're fun to build and decorate and stuff. So all the builds I've made have been family homes. But yeah, there's not much to say about the build itself. There's not a lot of options, so I just picked the things that were the cheapest but also looked the nicest together, I guess, which was really difficult to do. The one thing I noticed is I could build a 2-bedroom house with a computer and everything in The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 for a lot less, and or the families start out with far more money than in The Sims 4. The Sims 4 seems to be more realistic in that respect and more difficult in that respect. Everyone says the original Sims is really difficult. I don't remember it being that difficult to play, but yeah, I would have to agree. The original Sims is incredibly hard to play. But as far as money goes and how far your money goes, in The Sims 4, you can't get as much with your starting money as you can in the original Sims. Like this whole house, and in The Sims 2 for that matter, both this and The Sims 2 houses were completely decked out, furnished, the whole 9 yards, and starter families right out of CAS, or create a family in this case, could afford them. Whereas in The Sims 4, a house like this, a starting out family would barely be able to afford it, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So that part is harder in The Sims 4, if you ask me. But anyways, we are pretty much done. Just checking over any last things to see if I missed anything. And that's the end of the speed build. And then here is just a little overview of the house from every angle, so you can kind of see that again from each of the angles, with the roof up and then the roof down. And I think I do one more with the walls down potentially, so you can really see everything. Yeah, so you can really see everything going on in there. And that's the build. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!